new Supra. Why do so many people hate the new Supra? I know I'm driving a BMW right now, so I am a little bit biased as far as everybody dogging on it and saying, oh, it's a BMW and not a Supra. And I understand the whole thing of, oh, it's not a true replacement for the Supra. But at the same time, it's kind of like, do you want a new Supra or do you not want a new Supra? Because Toyota wasn't going to create a whole new platform and a whole new engine for a low volume car. So from that perspective, it's either we welcome it or it dies forever. And if it doesn't sell well, they're not going to create more variants, and they're not going to, it's because all these big companies, they're all controlled by the accounts, right? So if it doesn't do well, I guess that's it for any Supra in the future, right? And especially now, everybody's into autonomous cars and SUVs. Sport cars are kind of an afterthought for a lot of the big companies. It is a shorter wheelbase than the last generation Supra. And the thing is, the last generation Supra was way different than the MK3, than the Mark III. So this one is an evolution of the MK4. I drove the MK4. My brother-in-law has one. It's a beautiful car. But at the same time, this is part of the evolution. Now, there's also the other argument of the original Supra was supposed to be a competitor for the GTR, for the NSX, and to an extent, it was a competitor to like the Corvette. This new generation Supra is now more along the lines of like a competitor to basically what Nissan did with the 350 and 370Z. So instead of punching at the very top, it kind of went down a little bit. And I think that was a smarter move, because if it was priced like a GTR, if it was priced like an NSX, you would never see it on the road, and it would be an extremely low volume selling car. So I applaud them for that, right? And yeah, it doesn't have gobs of power. 335, big whoop. That's not a lot of power for a modern sport car these days. Sports car these days. But I think it'll do 0 to 60 in 3.9 or something like that. That's incredibly respectable. And the car is $55,000. What do you want for $55,000? I am sure the car is going to be amazing. And I'm sure it's going to be fairly reliable. This is going to be built in a third-party plant. Wow, it's foggy. It is so foggy. It's going to be built in a third-party plant. And a lot of the manufacturing process was done with BMW and Toyota together. So I would say, and this from everything that I've read, that this should be more reliable than just about every BMW, because they've basically cross-checked every component to make sure that it is up to their standards. So the car will be built up to Toyota standards, not BMW standards. Not to say BMW standards are low, because they're well-built cars, but I think the biggest thing that everybody's really concerned about is the engine. And it's a B58. So that is like BMW's third generation turbo inline 6 motor. And the M55 was fairly reliable. Of course, you had your oil leaks. But I think that this one will be a pretty reliable engine. I think get up to 150K easy. And then, with a major tune-up as far as like placing gaskets and doing all that stuff, I think you'll be able to extend the life easily to the 200s. So it's not a 2JZ. And I think if people get that out of their head, it's a really good motor. Of course, there's no manual yet, but people just don't buy manuals anymore. So it's hard for a lot of companies to justify adding a manual when people just don't buy it. At the end of the day, these companies are trying to make money. And I think it's going to be a great car. I think it's going to be such a good car. So I'm happy. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to impress motorists. And once people actually start driving the car and reviewing it, I think people are going to love it. So take it or leave it. That's basically what I'm trying to say, right? So if you want a new Supra, this is it. This is what they did. And they teamed up with the best company to do a Supra. They wanted a turbo inline 6, and they wanted a company that is very good at making sport cars, which, if you like the BMW M cars, this is basically a BMW M2 with suspension tuned by Toyota and a little bit less power. And that car goes for like 65, so this is going to be a less expensive variant, styled and basically branded by Toyota, and built with Toyota using 95% BMW parts or whatever. But I mean, for 55 grand, I think it's going to be a performance bargain, and I think a bunch of people are going to jump on it. And so, take it or leave it. I think it's going to be a great car, and time will tell if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But I think it's a bargain at 55 grand. And yeah, it's going to be a great car. This car was 56 grand brand new. And I don't think it's really, I don't even think it's half the car of the new Supra. So, considering this car, which is a 428 Grand Coupe, fully loaded, for 56 grand, and the new Supra, I think starts at 55 grand, or maybe the same price, and it's got all the same features, but it's got, the new V58 motor. Like, it's a good bargain. So, yeah, I like it. I think the styling is great. I mean, people are talking about the proportions, and it's like very similar to the FT86. Is that bad? Everybody complained that, the FT86 doesn't have enough power, but it's a great sports car. Everybody said it was the best sports car that you could buy. This is basically the same size, but it's got way more power. And now people are hating on it. It's just so weird, the logic, I just don't understand it. This is everything that everybody really asked for, except for it just happens to be built of mostly BMW parts, and everybody's hating on it. So, yeah, I don't understand. If the BMW M2 is that good, I don't know how this could be terrible. So this is going to be a great car. I actually like the styling because they try to make it look as close to the FT1 concept, which I think is one of the most beautiful concept cars to have ever come out. And it looks very similar, and they made the panels so that way it would be easy for tuners to really modify and stylize. How they designed the door, and how you can change out the molding for that side air vent that is in the door. I think tuners are going to get real creative with that. I think there's a lot of potential, and I really like the car. So that's the end of my rant. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.